So, I put the URL here, and just wanted you to have that. This is an overview of our campus taken very recently, as you can tell from the snow. And I wanted to point out a few features of our campus. We have cottages and villas in this area, and then the main building is all of this, with about 335 living units in independent living. We're in the process of adding this addition of 24 apartments, which this literally is last week's photo, so you can see where we are. And we'll be turning these former cottages into a community space. So you can see here some of our solar installations. There are 9 solar arrays, and I'm going to take us now. This also gives you another picture, a little more pleasant and pretty picture of our campus. The 9 arrays are all, the 9 canopies are all over parking lots. We initially contracted for those when we built the new, what was then new South Wing, and contracted with GE, who owned it. And now we have purchased those arrays from GE, and they now belong to Seabury ourselves. We also have 36 900-foot geothermal wells. When the South Wing was being built, there was not an intent to go in this direction, but some engineers, engineer residents, went to our administration and said, you know, you're kind of crazy not to do this. And they looked into it, and, you know, it's a mark of a great administration when they're willing to receive a truly revolutionary idea and run with it. So it cost us $1.5 million invested in these 900-foot wells. It generates 59-degree water, which was the reason we went down to 900 feet. That 1.5 million paid itself back and is now we're golden going forward for the next 43 years of the life of these wells. So this is terrific. In the 8 years that these wells have been in place, they only serve the South Wing, the new wing that's being added, and the main building. They don't serve the rest of campus because the piping would have been impossible. But since these were turned on, we have not had to turn on the boilers for heat in those 8 years.
Wow.
Our culinary department has gone green, and I'll be writing an article for the April newsletter about the process that we used to do this. It was an initiative of the administration and of our culinary managers. You can see that we use the Aussies for take home, etc. There's significant, as would be true for all of us, significant food waste. We work really hard. They work very hard at eliminating as much food waste as possible, but there are always pairings and cuttings. At Seabury, we own property in a nearby town that someday will probably be another Seabury. But for now, we have recently turned it into a farm, and it is a farm with pigs and goats. So our cuttings, etc., from the culinary department all go to the pigs at this farm, where they are naturally composted. And then every now and then a hog gets harvested, and we get to eat the results of our composting. It's really kind of cool. We also have a biodigester that is fed automatically with table scraps. We used to have residents participating in this program. We had to step back from that because there were some strange things appearing amid the compost, and figuring out how we're going to eliminate the plastic items and forks and all kinds of things. But this machine also is quite temperamental. And it's a biodigester, not a composter. And it cost about $60,000. It's our third one. The first two were from a company in India, and they totally failed. This one glitches, but has been mostly working lately. And when it glitches, it's pretty awful because our staff have to literally get into it and dig it out. So we're not happy with this, but we are really committed to composting. We've looked into transporting our compost, and our calculations indicate that the amount of fossil fuel needed to do that transporting does not offset the cost of the impact of not composting. So we're going with this. In the spring, this, you can't see this, I guess, it says winter sowing. In the winter, we gather 25 or 30 residents together, and we take the seeds that actually I have accumulated from native plants around campus and from other sources. And we plant these seeds in these water jugs. And then they're adopted by residents who set them out in on their lawns, those who have access, and tend them and wait for them. And last year was our first year doing this. I have done it for years, but it was the first year for Seabury doing it. We had 50 jugs, probably 35 sprouted. That was partly that I don't think the seeds were handled right. And we got 350 to 400 plants, which we planted around campus. So this has been a fun thing for us to do. They were partially planted in this new pollinator pathway. We put in this new pathway along the road because people were walking in the road, and they still walk in the road even though we have a pathway. But this pollinator pathway has been really wonderful and a bright spot. You can also see behind here the meadows. This is bobolink territory. And these meadows are only mowed once a year in late August in order to allow the bobolinks for their full life. Our life with nature is very real here. We have 52 raised bed gardens just at the north end of our campus. And here in the south wing, there are 4 wild hillsides that surround us. They're controversial. Sorry, this was taken through a screen, but it's what I had. They're controversial because, of course, we have people who want manicured golf courses and think they're ugly. So we're working hard at converting people's notion of beauty. In that area that I pointed out on the first slide, beyond Seabury, you could see an expanse of woods and fields. And this is one of the, just a shot of one of the trails in there. We have 4.5 miles of walking trails, which are absolutely gorgeous and wonderful. With climate change, we're actually experiencing about 2 months every spring when we cannot get on the trails because they're so wet. We have an arboretum that we just developed this past year with only 25 trees. It's just level 1, but an interest in moving beyond that. We have a little controversy because they're including trees that are not native, and some of us are wanting to have that be otherwise. We're also engaged in citizen science with our People who walk the trails are invited to take photographs and to upload them to our iNaturalist project. We're only just getting started on this, so if you went looking for it, you weren't going to see much there. But this was an evening 9 p.m. event with scientists, entomologists, showing us moths and insects coming to the lights. It was absolutely a wonderful, wonderful experience. We also participate in a special recycling program that we developed here, where residents are invited to save up their non-recyclable plastics that they can't put in the blue bins, and bring them once every 3 months or so to one of our spaces where we collect them, sort them, and then put them in TerraCycle boxes and ship them off to TerraCycle. These boxes are very expensive, and our residents pay for them because it's our waste. But we've gotten so adept at packing these boxes that I would be surprised if there's much air in them at all. Every item is absolutely stuffed with other plastic items. It's a really fun event because people can do it sitting down or standing up and doing all kinds of things. This box here on top, this is just yesterday's picture of our shipping. We filled this box with dental and oral care because TerraCycle has a free program where you just collect it, put it in a box, and ship it off to them. And Colgate funds that, but it doesn't have to be Colgate. So we do a lot with this, and our folks are really devoted to it. I was frustrated with having to wait 3 months every time, and so I went to our workshop and asked them to build us a box that would receive certain items every month. And this particular week was snack and candy wrappers, K-cups, cups and lids and straws, etc. And the next week was going to be dental and shaving items. And when we collect those, we set them aside and have them ready to either find another way to get to TerraCycle, or they go in our big box. But they relieve the pressure on people's closets. And I had one of our artists decorate the box so that our administration would not object to having this ugly thing in a public space. We've also done a competition for collecting 500 pounds of flexible plastics for a Trex program. And that's what you're looking at is 12 pounds. I assume most of the rest of you do this as well. We got a park bench for it. We now don't do that anymore. We now collect it and it goes through the local Lions Club. We collect redeemables from all of our residents all month long. We have places in our trash rooms where people can put their redeemables. This is about a month, maybe 3 weeks worth of collection. These go to a local church right downtown, about a mile and a half from us, who supports that provides a dinner program, hot dinner program, to residents of town who are in need. And the $6,000 of redeemables that we donate pay for half of the program's expense, which is really a remarkable kind of thing. It's great fun. Obviously, like you, we have a workshop, 3 rooms, all fully equipped. We have an encore, terrible photos. I took them this morning in a rush. But encore with clothing and household goods and jewelry and on and on and on. I do my Christmas shopping there. And finally, we promote slow fashion, which for us is Zuri, if any of you know Zuri. I'm wearing one today. But these are 24 residents who've gotten on the Zuri bandwagon. And last spring, we actually did a Zuri fashion show that was great fun. And I'll put the link to that just because I think we're in a time when we all need a little silliness. And I don't mind you seeing me make an absolute fool of myself. Finally, the last thing is that Seabury will often table at environmental events and tell the story of our um, uh, uh, sustainability. It really captures attention, and it's more than just advertising. It's more than just marketing. It's really helping others understand just how important sustainability can be in our shared life. This was at our Connecticut Sunday event, of which I was one of the co-facilitators.